Hello and welcome to this video review, and today I have something really special in my hands. You can see the new NL Pure 10 by 42 Swarovski binoculars. I'm sure that you already have seen all the hype around these binoculars, and you probably also have seen other reviews of it, because it was probably the biggest news of this year in the segment of binoculars. This year, 2020, is really special in this regard because there was no EVA show and no SHOT Show. So these binoculars were introduced online. They had like a digital conference for all the news, for all the media and so on. And now they also have sent out all the demo models for people to test. And I will start this review with a little bit of introduction. It's going to be a little bit longer than usual, because I think that these binoculars deserve that the story around them is explained a little bit better. So, you know, Swarovski had an EL series of binoculars ever since 2007. So in 2008 they were readily available on the market, and they made quite a stir in the market because at that time EL brought really a lot of new technologies in the segment of binoculars, and it formed a special benchmark at that time. And normally all enthusiasts like myself, we waited for quite some time, for a few years, what the two main competitors will do, because let's be honest, Swarovski only has two real competitors in the segment of binoculars, and this is Leica and Zeiss. And not much really happened. What was really special was that Swarovski introduced the EL Swaravision, so the second generation of ELs, even before Leica and Zeiss came out with a true answer to EL. So 2007 was the first generation of EL, I think 2014 or something like that, 2012 maybe, 2012, 2014, I don't remember exactly, came out the EL Swaravision, so the second generation of EL. But then things started to happen. So in 2014, Zeiss came out with a Victory SF, so this was the first binoculars that went directly against the EL. And then in 2016, Leica came out with like an Noctivit. And EL suddenly got company. And all those three binoculars, we made quite a few reviews of them. You can check them on our YouTube channel. They were all pretty much, I would say, tied. There was no real winner among them. Some people, even in our offices, in our firm, some people preferred the Victory SF because it has a really extremely wide field of view. Some people prefer Noctivit because of its superb build quality and really rich colors. And some people still preferred the EL Swaravision, even though it was the oldest among the bunch. Swaravision also got a small facelift, I think in 2016, when they changed the way the straps attached to it, but optically it stayed the same. So ever since Noctivit came out and Victory SF, we were all asking ourselves, when will the new generation of EL be introduced? And here we are now. So Swarovski did something completely different. They said, okay, we won't make a new generation of EL. We'll make a completely new binoculars. NL. They could just name them EL. Nobody would even know. But they changed a lot. And then they did something really special. They repositioned the ELs so that now the EL is still in production, but it's much cheaper. And I think this is a horrible situation for their competitors. Because honestly speaking, EL is still more or less competitive, even better in some segments than the Noctivit and Victory SF. But now it became cheaper. And on the other hand, they also came out with an NL which is even better, optically and in many technological ways. So they nailed two nails at the same time. They keep the production of EL. They still compete against the Noctivit and Victor SF, but they lowered the price. So they undercut the competition with the price on the ELs. And then they came out with an NL, which is a new benchmark in binoculars. At least they say so, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be true. So if you are looking for the best binoculars in this moment that you can buy from all the brands, this is it. Okay, so I made this introduction to explain the background of these binoculars and a little bit of marketing position and all the competition. Now about the NLs themselves. Compared to the EL Swarovision, a lot of things is really similar. So they kept the same system for attaching the strap to the binoculars, which is very smart. It's one of the best systems, at least in my opinion, really good. They kept the same lens covers for the objective, for the eyepiece lenses, and they kept the same covers for the objective lenses, which are connected directly to the housing. All really good, because we know that it works well with an already existing ELs. So they made 3 models in this series. This is 10 by 42. They also produce 8 by 42, and they produce also 12 by 42, which is very special because Swarovski never produced 12 by 42 binoculars before. At least I don't remember in the last 15 years or something. The price normally is, I would say, extremely high. So if we know that most of the ELs and Noctivits and Victor SF are sold for around 2,500 euros or something like that, these binoculars are almost 3,000 euros. So this particular model is 2,900 euros, 8 by 42 will be 2,850, and 12 by 42 will be 2,950. What also changed is the shape. There is no open bridge anymore. They went back to the single bridge, but this really short version of the single bridge. And they also made this ergonomical shape. They turned the prisms inside so that they were able to do this. And they say that this is the best binoculars in terms of handling and so on. I would say this is a very bold statement. It is true that some people will prefer this way. Some people will still prefer a normal tube shaped design. It is a nice feature, and I think a lot of people will like it. And ergonomically speaking, especially the position of the focusing knob, it's really good. So they done a good job. Normally the binoculars are fully waterproofed. They're filled with nitrogen, and they work from -30 to +70 degrees. This particular pair is 158 millimeters long. That means that it's even shorter than the EL, and it weighs approximately 850 grams. Roughly the same as Noctivit, but it is lighter. The Victor SF is lighter, even though optically this one, it's a bit different, I would say. The focusing is central and completely new design, because if you look at the existing Swarovski binoculars, SLC and EL Swarovision, you see that the knob is positioned on a different position, and it has a completely different design. So this is new, and the focusing is really nice. I will talk more about the focusing later. What do you get in the box? All the existing accessories, which you already know. You even get a small cleaning set and a new bag. This field bag is different than those from the existing binoculars. And what is really special, because when you put it around your neck, let's say, you have to store the binoculars in them horizontally, not vertically, which is a bit odd, especially for hunters, which put, and many other competitors are doing that. You get a harness and a chest bag with your binoculars. If you use this as a chest bag, you will need to store the binoculars horizontally in this bag. And I think this could have been done better. I think vertically is better because you are immediately ready to use them. What you are also able to get with these binoculars is the new forehead rest NL Pure FRP. It costs 130 euros, a little bit less, 129 euros. And this is something what no one else, at least to my knowledge, has done before. This accessory goes here. You just click it in like this. And then it's completely adjustable. This is the third point of contact with your face. And they achieved less shaking with this forehand rest. And we tried it, a lot of people in our offices, I won't count, but at least 10 people, because when NL came to our offices, everybody wanted to use it, everybody wanted to take it home for one day and so on. You know, we're a team of all optical enthusiasts. We more or less got only positive feedbacks. So I was really skeptical, honestly speaking, when I saw this on that digital conference introduction of NL. I was really skeptical about this forehand rest. But now when I have tried it, I'm becoming a believer, even though I'm not so easy to convince. But it is true that at least vertical plane shaking is reduced substantially with this. So it is easier to use the binoculars without any support, without tripod support, if you have this forehead rest. I think it's especially important that you buy this with the 12 by 42, which is already, I would say, on a really upper limit of what you're able to use with your bare hands. And also with 10 by 42, I would definitely go for it, honestly speaking. It does makes a difference, even though I was really skeptical at the start. So binoculars are fully made in Austria, and they come with a 10 years warranty, like all Swarovski products. You also get a whole manual, like with all Swarovski products, with a warranty card at the last page. So not much change in this regard. If I go to the eyepieces, eyepieces are, I would say, standard, like on all Swarovski binoculars, even though what is really funny, they make different eyepieces for each of their model and also for each generation of their models. So when people are writing emails to us that saying that they would need new eyepieces, it's a nightmare to find the right eyepieces, because we have a couple of hundreds of eyepieces in our warehouse. The funny thing is they all look the same, but they are not. There is a different thread, different positions, and so on. This particular model has 6 positions, and it is one of the best on the market. Completely in the same league like an Octivit. 18 millimeters of eye relief. I use glasses and I have no problems using this 10 by 42 binoculars. It's really easy and really nice. Focusing, like I said, it's central. Nice feel, really easy, just the right firmness. And it has 2 full turns. I would say the speed is somewhere in between slow for hunting, fast for bird watching. You can do both with these binoculars. And I don't see a big handicap, either if you're a hunter or if you're a bird watcher. It is true, however, that I would say it's a tad bit better for hunters, because it's not that fast, at least in my opinion. You need to try it to see it, but someone who will complain about this focus, I would say, has a really high standards, because the focusing is really good. What is also completely new is the way you set the diopter. So you have a small rotating ring, or with a really small lever on this side, and then on the other side you have marks for the diopter. It's not locking. This is really strange, because on SLCs and the EL Swarovision, you have the locking mechanism. Here is just firm, but it's not a locking one. It just clicks on 0, but that's it. Okay, if I go to the optical performance, and this is the part where we can say a word or two about optics. First of all, 10x42, I would say standard configuration for bird watching, for those who have a steady hand, even though with a forehead rest it's a bit easier. But it doesn't stop here. First of all, you get all the technologies from Swarovski. They have different names like Swarodur, Swarotop, Swarobright, and so on, Swarovision. All of these technologies are incorporated into these binoculars. The best coatings, because you have to understand that for each binoculars, even though the technology is named the same, let's say Swarodur for the durability of external surfaces, or Swarobright for better light transmission and so on, they do use different types of coatings on different models. But you are able to be sure that with this NL Pure you are getting the best what it's possible to achieve now in terms of optical performance. So 91% light transmission rate for Schmidt and Pehan prism, this is really great. Swarovision technology, so really flat field of view. And now we come to the most important part, extremely big field of view. I remember on this conference which they held digitally, I think Marcos was leading it. He said that they always consider that it's really important for them to make great edge-to-edge sharpness, and this is Swarovision technology. So really flat field of view and great exceptional sharpness from one edge to another. And he said, then they considered in the factory, what if we would do the binoculars without edges? And I was like, what do they mean? When I tried this binocular for the first time, I did understand, because the field of view is so big that it's hard to see the edge at both sides of the image. It's almost like when you put the binoculars on, like you're inside of the image. And we know all Swarovski binoculars have this extremely big apparent field of view. So when you put the binoculars on your eyes with all Swarovski binoculars, the first thing is wow, because you fell into the image. But with an NL Pure, they went just one step further. 10x42 has 133 meters of field of view at 1000 meters. This is more than most of 8x42 binoculars. It's just out of this world. 8x42 binoculars have 159 meters of field of view. This is more than, let's say, Kowa 8x32. This is more than the old Nikon 8x30. It's just amazing and unbelievable. And you have to see it to understand it. There is almost no edge at any side of the image. You just fall into the image fully. And it is a new benchmark. I don't see any competitor in this moment that could compare. Normally, also the price is much higher, because this is the reason why these binoculars cost almost 3,000 euros. Okay, and now we came to the summary, where I always go through the positives and a little bit less positive features of products. So I usually say sweet and sour. And I will go through the sweet first. I think that the optical performance of these binoculars is just something what others will need to catch. And it's a new benchmark for the best binoculars on the market. Without any, at least in my opinion, any consideration. It's just wow. Field of view is out of this world. 133 meters on 10x42 binoculars is just crazy. Most of the other binoculars, 10x42 configuration, have 105, 110 meters of field of view. I also like the build quality, which is normal for Swarovski of this price class, and the focusing mechanism. I like the ergonomics, because you're able to use the binoculars with one hand, and it's really, really easy. I also like the forehand rest. Smart, really innovating, something what no one else considered until now, and is completely adjustable. You are able to do this, and you're able to do this. So it will fit any face, and it does help. I was a big skeptic when I saw it in the presentation. Now I'm a big fan almost. I also like the shape, even though I think it's just they exaggerate a little bit about the importance, but it's nice to see that they try to do something different with ergonomics, and it's really, it is nice. Okay, so what could have been done better? First of all, what I think is the mass. Let's say 50, 100 grams less would be even nicer. Normally, when you use the magnesium for the housing everywhere and so on, and the glass elements, it's hard to make the binoculars lighter, but still, this could have been done better. I also think that the locking mechanism for the diopter setting would be really nice. And last but not least, the price. 3,000 euros for binoculars is really a lot, especially without laser rangefinder, without anything. But on the other side, if you want to buy, let's say, the best car in the world, you will need to pay a couple of millions of euros. If you want to have the best binoculars in the world, you will pay 3,000 euros. So if you look from this point of view, the price is, I would say, expected. And in one side, it is worth it. These binoculars, because they are the best without competition at the moment, they are worth this premium price. Thank you for watching. If you have any additional questions, because I can understand if you're buying these binoculars, you will put some energy into research to see if they're really worth 3,000 euros. So the simple answer, yes, is not enough. If you have any additional questions, please write them in the comments below. I'm going to use these binoculars for the next month or so, and also all the people from our team will use them. We will answer anything what you will ask. Also, please subscribe to our channel, and see you in the next video.